Hello everyone, we are Group 8 and we'll be discussing developing business message, the writing process. I'm Sakri Alia, I'm the group leader, and joining me are my team members. In our presentation, we aim to provide comprehensive understanding of what business message is, the key concepts, and the writing stages. What is a business message? A business message is a communication that provides ideas, instructions to people. This can be carried out in various medium, which are the memos, the reports, presentation, or verbal communication. Now that we have understanding of what a business message is, I will hand over to my team member Faith, who will dive deeper into what business message is, the writing process is.
My name is Faith Adeogun, and I'll be talking about the description of a writing process. Firstly, I'll start with the definition of a writing process. A writing process encompasses all activities involved in producing a desired message. This simply means that it allows you to send. It involves sending message in stages or steps, and also the importance of a writing process. It ensures clarity and audience-centered communication. It allows you send messages that is clear and easy to understand. I also allow you to effectively engage and resonate with your target audience. Also, adjustments based on audience and context. It is flexible and adaptable. It allows you to easily edit your messages in case maybe there's some mistakes or something. It encourages creativity and dynamic message construction. And lastly, it's a guide to effective messages. Framework for a well-structured and impactful message. Thank you.
I'm Bisiga Falakayamde. I'm here to talk on the key concepts in writing a business message. As a writer, there are some key concepts you have to consider. One of it is the audience. The audience is said to be the receiver and the decoder of a message. One, as a writer, you have to identify the intended message recipient, assess the need, expectation, and the preference of the message to suit the context of your receiver. The next key concept is the audience analysis adaptation. This describes the process of evaluating the need, the knowledge of the reader, and modifying the messages accordingly. For example, formal language in a business proposal, like using casual tone in an internal memo. The next key concept is brainstorming and free writing. Brainstorming and free writing entails that the writer has to generate ideas from within. Continuous writing without worrying about grammar. This concept encourages creativity and uncovers hidden ideas in the writer. The next key concept is chronologic development and general to specific development. It entails presenting information in the order as it occurs, starting with broad concept and narrowing it down. Thank you.
My name is Wanai Bechuku McDonald, and I'll be talking about four key concepts in the writing process. The first concept I'll be talking about is collaborative writing. Collaborative writing is simply defined as a process of producing a written work as a group in which the team members have contributed to context, the decisions on how the group will function. Benefits of collaborative writing. This helps in combining a different perspective and expertise of the group members within the group. Examples of collaborative writing, we have teams' effort in drafting a company's policy. The next key concept is discourse community. Discourse community is defined as a group of communicators that have similar or shared same objective or concern for adopting a manner in participating in a discussion. Understanding the discourse community. To understand the discourse community, you have to first understand the shared languages and conventions within the group. Examples of discourse community, we have writing a research paper for a professional journal. The next key concept is credibility. Credibility is simply defined as the essence of writing a text, such as situation, organization, procedures, and the reader, which influences the writer's choice at every single step. Considering contextual factors. In considering contextual factors, you have to consider the environment and the circumstances surrounding the message. Examples of contextual factors, you have adjusting a message for a crisis situation.
Hi, my name is Omowa Estambogolaji. I'll be talking about the last point in the key concept in writing, which is developing and drafting and editing. The importance of crafting draft is to develop and refine initial ideas, just like how raw data are converted into information. Also, I'll be talking about editing. Editing for clarity and impact. Revising content for readability and effectiveness, meaning that editing means removing every form of errors and jargons away from a content to make it more effective and understandable so that those that are reading it will be able to understand it. For example, drafting a speech before refining it. And like I said before, changing raw facts into information and editing a report to eliminate jargon, just like removing errors and unnecessary irrelevances in a content.
My name is Itolo Victory, and I'll be talking on the stages in the writing process. I'll be focusing on the first stage, which is the planning or pre-writing stage. It comes before the actual writing. It involves all forms of mental and thinking activities, such as gathering ideas, researching and planning structures. We have examples under it, which are conducting research before writing a white paper and outlining key points for a presentation. Furthermore, they are divided into four stages, which are analyzing the situation. The writer of a business message is to analyze or define the purpose or reason for that message. The purpose of a message might be to convey, inform, or persuade ideas. This helps the writer to focus on the audience needs when developing his business message. For example, writing a cover letter to highlight qualifications. The next, which is gathering information. The writer is to gather information on the audience's needs so as to understand those needs and know how best to use his business message to satisfy those needs. Hence, tailoring the most important part of the message to the receiver. For example, conducting a survey on consumer preference. Next, we have selecting appropriate medium. This activity involves the writer selecting an appropriate medium to pass the message. The choice of a medium for the message is dependent on what the audience is comfortable with. For example, using social media for the younger audience like Twitter. And then lastly, we have organizing information. Here, the writer is to arrange his ideas in order to efficiently develop his business plan. Also, the writer chooses an appropriate manner in which the plan is to be communicated. For example, using bullet points in a presentation for clarity and creating a detailed outline for a research paper.
Now that you have finished planning, it's time you start putting all your writing into sentences and paragraphs. This is where you make your first draft based on the plans you made during the planning stage. Now, how do you go about this? Firstly, you adapt your write-up to the audience. You can't you can't use you can't communicate with a mature audience the same way you communicate with kids. Therefore, you should use a language and style that resonates with your audience. Secondly is the drafting. This is where you focus on getting all your ideas down without worrying about making it perfect yet. It is still a draft. Then after putting all your ideas down, you then move on to compose the message. This is where you refine the draft into a polished piece by going through it, removing any unnecessary parts, and then going on to clearly organize the message into an organized write-up. Thank you.
So Esther Oindamola, I'll be taking us through the last stage in the writing process, which is the completing or editing stage. The writer is to examine the message to ensure efficiency, effectiveness, and presentability to the audience. That is ensuring that the content is well polished and professional, and also revising the content to ensure clarity and impact. So the next one we talk about is the examples, which are rewriting the sections of a report for better outflow and adding visual aids to the presentation. Then under this, we have four sub-stages, which I'll be taking us through. That is rewriting the message, and this is adding or removal and rearranging content to ensure message clarity and coherence, and also reconsidering content and style, that is making changes to improve readability and effectiveness.
So my name is Said Absalam Omokola. I'm here to talk about a sub-stage in the completing and editing stage. So producing the message basically entails putting into consideration the message format. That means the writer is put into consideration the communication channel that will be suitable to the audience. The writer can make use of graphical representation, visuals, and layouts to make the message easily receivable.
Okay, guys, so my name is Dave Seboibe. I'll be taking the last sub stages of the completing stage. So, among the first two, that will be the proofreading. So, what do you understand by proofreading? Proofreading is just talking about the final review of a message before it is distributed. So, what does the writer do here? The writer checks for errors, checks for mistakes, checks for awkward statements, and he makes adjustments, all to achieve the goal of ensuring clarity and professionalism in his message. For example, proofreading a sales email before sending. But the writer must also note one thing, that he can have others or someone else or other groups of people to proofread for him. After all, we're all humans and we can make mistakes. Then the next part will be the distributing the message. So basically, distributing the message just talks about delivering the message to the target audience. Furthermore, the writer must deliver this message using the chosen means of communication, and he must do so at reasonable costs, at reasonable convenience, at reasonable timing, as well as reasonable degree of security. For example, emailing a report to stakeholders or even sending printed newsletters to customers. So this is just the last stage of the entire process. So thank you.
In conclusion, we can say that business messages are ways for organizations to communicate with each other and individuals using various messaging channels like SMS. In developing a clear and compelling message, one needs to know who their audience are, who they are, how you can relate to them, persuade them and engage them, what are their preferences. You can research your audience and tailor your message to their level of understanding, language, and culture. This helps to achieve one's goals and build trust and credibility with their audience. The business messages are produced with through different stages known as the writing process. The writing process involves planning, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing a desired message. There are three main stages of the writing process: pre-planning or planning stage, writing stage, completing or editing stage, also known as post-writing stage. The pre-planning, pre-writing stage involves researching, brainstorming, outlining, and organizing the information needed in a message. The writing stage involves writing the actual message in its intended format. Post-writing stage involves examining the content of the message and making their needed adjustments, correcting errors in spellings, vocabulary, punctuations, and grammars, and then finally presenting your message to its intended audience. Thank you.
Thank you.